What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. For any league worth its salt, we're into the fantasy playoffs right now, although I had noticed that the YouTube Prognosticators League is waiting until next week to start the playoffs. In any case, it is Week 14, NFL Picks Show 2013-2014 NFL season. And just to give you a little insight on why I just said what I said, I don't tend to like fantasy football leagues that use Week 17 as part of the playoffs. Although with the ESPN League, I think there's only 2 weeks worth of playoffs. So if that's the case, then that's great. But I hate leagues, absolutely hate leagues that use Week 17 as part of the playoffs. Too many players get sat down, and it really grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin would say. In any case, let's get into how I did here in Week 13 of the NFL season before we get into the picks for Week 14. Week 13 was pretty successful for this kid, both straight up and with the top 2 against the spread and over-under. That's where we're going to start. I hit both of my against the spread plays last week, so awesome. First time I've done that in quite some time. I told you to take the Giants -1. They ended up winning their game. And I told you to take Indy -4. I said Indy was too good to keep losing games. Indy went out and won their game. So Giants -1, Indy -4, both of those worked out. I'm now a 500 rated 13-13 against the spread this season. Look at the over-unders. I split my over-unders one more time. I told you to take over 49 in Minnesota-Chicago. Everybody seemed to love that one. Unfortunately, that did not work out, but I told you to take over 46.5 in Dallas and Oakland. That did work out if you followed my picks this week, and lots of people could blame me for doing that based on my record, but if you followed my picks this week, hopefully you made yourself a little money. 1-1 over-under, 11-14-1 over-under for the season, currently sitting with a record of 24-27-1. And taking a look at the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze, I swept them all off the table again this week. Bronze, I told you to take San Fran to beat St. Louis, 23-13, no worries there. Silver, I told you to take Carolina to beat Tampa Bay. They did. That game went virtually exactly the way I said it would. I said that Carolina would score at least 3 touchdowns. They did. I told you that Tampa Bay would not reach 20 points. They didn't. Carolina wins this game very comfortably, 27-6. Gold pick, I told you to take Dallas to beat Oakland. Everybody loved that pick, one of the Thanksgiving Day games. That, of course, worked out 31-24, but it was actually Dallas that was the team that ended up trailing in this game and had to pull off a nice comeback. They did that, 31-24. And the platinum pick, I told you to take the Patriots to beat the Texans. This would have been, I would have thought, an easy layup here, but Houston played them tough, and it took New England to a late field goal, I believe, to win this game 34-31. My records for these picks: platinum, I'm 12-1 on my platinum pick this year. My gold pick is 11-2. My silver pick is 9-4. My bronze pick is 10-3. Overall, in Week 13, I had a good straight-up record of 10 up and 6 down. On the season, 117 up, 74 down with 1 tie, sitting in the 86th percentile on Yahoo. Looking at the private pick'em, I'm in 3rd place still out of 22 people. Of course, I went down to 3rd place last week. 1,038 of 1,521 possible confidence points, a clip of 68%. And in Week 13, I was able to rake in a very good 102 out of 136 possible confidence points for a clip of 75%. Shout out to our Week 13 winner, 2EZ. We have not said his name here in a few weeks, but 2EZ came back with a monstrous week. How monstrous? It was the 2nd highest score that has ever been recorded in one of my pick'em leagues. For anybody that was around watching the videos last year, in Week 16 of 2012, I put up 131 of 136 possible confidence points on a week of, I believe, it was either 14-2 or 15-1. It was the best week I had ever done and the best week that our leagues had ever done. 2EZ scores the 2nd highest week ever in our pick'em, 129 out of 136 possible confidence points with a 14-2 record in Week 13. Wow, 95% of their confidence points for that week 2EZ managed to rake in. Jayshon McCuttownler for MVP remains the overall leader, 121 up, 70 down, and 1,057 of 1,521 possible confidence points, a clip of 69%. First to third only separated by about 20 points. So very, very, very close up there still. It's basically a three-horse race between Jayshon McCuttownler, 2EZ, and myself. Going to be real good here coming down the wire. Of course, we do include playoffs, so I will continue to be doing this throughout the playoffs. But shout out to 2EZ for being our Week 13 winner, and Jayshon McCuttownler for remaining, by the skin of his teeth, our overall leader. And for anybody that doesn't like the fact that I just spent about 2 minutes there talking about the Pick'em League, too bad. Now let's get into the picks for Week 14 here in the NFL. Going to start, of course, with the top two against the spread and over-under. We're going to start with the over-unders, and I got a couple of over-plays for you. My favorite OU play this week comes in Denver, Tennessee. The number there is 49. I'm going to tell you to take the over. Why? Because it's in Denver. Again, I've said it all season. I don't trust the Titans offensively or defensively. Their defense tends to be a little better, but Peyton Manning is going to destroy the Tennessee Titans. So bet your house on it. It's going to happen. Over 49 points. This, to me, seems easy because Tennessee can put up points when they want to. I will give them that. They have had some games this year where they've been able to put up points, keep pace where I didn't think they'd be able to. But Denver should run away with this game. So in Denver, Tennessee, I'm going to tell you to take over 49 points. And my second favorite OU play this week comes in the Carolina at New Orleans game. Number here is 45.5. The only reason I'm telling you to go over on this game is that, again, I see a quarterback that's pissed off, and that quarterback is Drew Brees. Brees was embarrassed in Seattle on Monday Night Football. National audience, and Seattle made him look like a rookie, and not a good rookie at that. Seattle just made him look bad. So now he's going to go home, and he's going to say, we are so much better than what we just showed in Seattle, and this is how we're going to prove it. Now, Carolina's got a real good defense. New Orleans has a real good defense. So 45.5 might seem high to some people. I know the great tools that I use from geoknows.com disagrees with me in saying that taking the over in this one, but I see two real good offensive teams. And Russell Wilson, like it or not, showed that you can beat the New Orleans defense by being a mobile quarterback. What is Cam Newton for the Panthers? A mobile quarterback. So I think the points are going to rack up in this game. Carolina at New Orleans, I'm telling you to take over 45.5 points. And we'll take a look at the against the spread plays for Week 14. I got a couple of favorite plays here for you. My favorite against the spread play this week comes in the Kansas City game. Kansas City is -3 on the road in Washington. At this point, Washington has literally nothing to play for. They're not going to win their division. They're not going to get a wild card. The best they can finish right now is 7-9, which is not going to get them anything but a worse draft pick. So to be perfectly honest, Washington has nothing to play for. Could they play spoilers here? A little bit, but it's basically a foregone conclusion that either KC or Denver is going to get a wild card spot. Like, it's both of those teams are making the playoffs. I think they could lose out and still make the playoffs. To be perfectly honest, Washington's got nothing to play for. Washington might as well tank the rest of the season to get the best possible draft pick they can, draft a real elite player, like a top 3, top 4 player in the upcoming draft. There's no reason for them not to. So KC -3 here is a gift. Take it. KC -3 on the road against Washington is my favorite ATS play this week. And my second favorite against the spread play this week comes in the Arizona-St. Louis game. Arizona is at home, favored by 6. St. Louis, another one of those teams that doesn't really have too much to play for anymore. They can kind of play spoiler here. I don't think Arizona might have a shot at a wild card, I guess, but so they could kind of play spoilers here, but Arizona just flat out is a better football team. They're overperforming based on the actual personnel and talent that they have, and I think 6 points is very, very manageable. So I'm going to tell you to take the 6 points on Arizona against St. Louis at home. Arizona -6 is my second favorite ATS play this week. Now we'll take a look at the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks for week 14. We're going to start with the bronze pick, where again I am 10-3. Game we already talked about, Denver at home to Tennessee. Why is this not higher on my list? Well, Denver was a high pick for me last week, and just a little bit of letting you behind the curtain here. I don't like to put teams, if I'm betting on teams in consecutive weeks, and they're going to be in the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze, I don't like to put them around the same spot. So say if I put a team as my gold pick one week, I don't want to put them as my gold pick or even my silver pick or my platinum pick the next week. I've already been accused of being too easy on my picks, so I don't just want to say, Denver platinum pick every week or Denver gold pick every week. I don't want to be that guy, so I like to put a little bit of difference in there. Denver's going to run away with this game. They're going to destroy Tennessee, but right now, Denver sits at home against Tennessee as winning for my bronze pick. Silver pick, where I am 9-4 this year, I have the New England Patriots staying at home against the Cleveland Browns. What else do I need to say about this? And Cleveland is nothing. Another team with nothing to play for. Injured quarterbacks, not a very good defense. New England's going to run away with this one. So New England at home against Cleveland, they're going to win, and that's my silver pick. My gold pick, I have the Baltimore Ravens at home to the Vikings, and I'm going to tell you to take the Ravens here. Ravens at home. They're not an elite home team like they used to be, but they're still very, very good on friendly turf. The spread here was kind of interesting to me. Right now they're favored by 7 points. I actually think 7 points is too many. I think Minnesota keeps this game closer than that. I do ultimately think Baltimore comes up with the win. I'm taking them for the gold pick, but if you're going to play the spread on this one, play Minnesota plus 7. And the platinum pick, a game we already talked about here again, 12-1 on the platinum pick. KC on the road in Washington. Washington's got nothing to play for. Take KC for the platinum pick. That's what I'm going to do. And here come the rest of your picks for week 14 in the National Football League. Check them out. That's the Week 14 show for you folks. Comments, hate, and love, you know where they go in the comments section below. And I think at this point in the video, for the rest of the season, we're going to be talking fantasy football. We're going to be talking my fantasy football, as well as the YouTube Prognosticators League in fantasy. This is typically the week when the fantasy playoffs are beginning for a lot of leagues. A lot of them are waiting until next week. I got 2 teams that are starting in the fantasy playoffs this week. The first one is in the 10-team league that I've talked about, and I've been in for quite some time. In round 1 of the playoffs, I'm a heavy favorite in my round 1 game. That team, of course, being led by Drew Brees. The 14-team league that I'm in on Yahoo, this is the last week of the regular season. I'm actually an underdog in this matchup the last week of the regular season, but I have already clinched a playoff spot, so win or lose, it's okay. That's a team that's led by Russell Wilson, as well as Josh McCown at quarterback, simply because of the injury to Aaron Rodgers. So he's on my bench. Whether he's going to come back this year, who knows, but Josh McCown is my second quarterback. Moving to my own commissioned league, the Professionals 20 whatever. I've been doing this for some time. Round 1 of the playoffs is this week. I'm a heavy favorite in my matchup against a good personal friend of mine. That team is also led by Russell Wilson and Josh McCown via the injury to Aaron Rodgers. I also have EJ Manuel on my roster, who I could play, but I think McCown's got a better matchup this week, so that's going to be led by Russell Wilson and Josh McCown. And the YouTube Prognosticators League. This is the last week of the regular season. I am a heavy favorite in my matchup against Christina from Yes What I Say Goes, who has one of the funnier names in the league of Von Miller's Chicken Farm. That team is led by Alex Smith and Phillip Rivers at quarterback. It's also got Megatron, who is the top scoring wide receiver in the ESPN game this year, as well as Kansas City's defense and special teams, which is the top scoring defense and special teams on the year. Remember, I'm the guy that missed the draft. But It's looking like if I win this week, I should have the inside track here to first place overall in the league, which would have me playing fourth place, right now occupied by Gino Bisconte from Gino's Picks, but we'll have to see how that plays out after this week. That's it for me, Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. Good luck in the fantasy playoffs, and the real playoffs are just around the corner. See you next week for Week 15.